Hello students, today we're going to be talking about an introduction to the coordinate plane. Today is more so a review day of what you have already done with the coordinate plane and how to graph points on a coordinate plane while putting those points into a table. So for your notes today, go ahead and fill in your table of contents. We are now in Unit 8. The notes are going to be called Intro to Coordinate Plane, even though the notes actually say Review of Graphing in Tables, but just for our purposes, it's going to say Intro to Coordinate Plane in the table of contents, and this is going to be page 120 in your math binder. So now looking at your notes, at the very top of our notes page, make sure that you put a 120 in that top right-hand corner so that your page is numbered. And we're just going to go ahead and get started with some vocab. So in the very first box, it says coordinate plane. And the first bullet says the coordinate plane includes two perpendicular number lines. That's what I want you to write in these first two boxes here. So number right here and lines right here. The coordinate plane includes two perpendicular number lines that intersect at the origin. That is our starting point for our coordinate plane. Now the second bullet point says the horizontal number line is called the x-axis. Okay, that's our horizontal number line. And then the vertical number line, our third bullet point, is called the y-axis. All right, this should not be new news to you. I know that you guys have seen this before and worked with the coordinate plane before. So now our next piece of vocab is talking about our ordered pairs. Okay, so each point on the coordinate plane is described by an ordered pair, which determines its location. That's our first bullet point. Second bullet point says ordered pairs are written x, comma, y with parentheses around them, where the first value describes the x coordinate. So x dash coordinate. And the second value describes our y coordinate. Coordinate is just a fancy way of saying location. Okay, so a coordinate on a graph is a location of an x value or a y value. Now, further down on your notes page, it says use the coordinate plane on the left to list the ordered pair of each shape in the table. So we're going to go ahead and locate on the coordinate plane each of these shapes, and then we're going to put the ordered pair in our table. Okay, so first off, I'm looking for my circle. Now, I always work with my x-axis first. So this is my x-axis, my horizontal axis, and my y-axis is my vertical axis, so way up here. Okay, and right here in the center, this dot right here is our origin. Okay, so origin. That is where we always start. So now, when I'm going to locate the circle, that's the first shape that I need to circle, I'm going to start with my x-axis. So I'm going to go across here on my x-axis and find the line that my circle is on. Okay, so I'm going to go 1, 2, I'm going to stop right there because I know that's the line that my circle is on. So my x value is going to be 2. Okay, for my first ordered pair. And I got to make sure I got to put a parentheses right there. Okay, and then on my y-axis, where my x meets at the 2 and where my y-axis meets for that circle is 8. So that means that my y value for this ordered pair is going to be 8. That is where both of those lines intersect. So that is its coordinate or its location. All right. I'm going to go ahead and just erase these lines. Now, for our second value, or for our second shape, we are going to find the triangle. So again, I'm going to start at my origin, and I'm going to go all the way across my x-axis because x always comes first, and I'm going to stop on the line where my y is located, which is going to be 8. So my x value is 8, comma. Now I'm going to find my y value. I'm going to go up on my y-axis, and the line where my x-axis and my y-axis meets is 5. So that means that my y value is going to be 5. That is the location of my triangle. Okay, I'm going to erase that line again for us. All right, moving on to the square. Again, I'm going to start at my origin because that's where I always start. And I'm going to go all the way across my x-axis until I find where my square is located. This is the line where my square is located, so that's going to be a 9. Therefore, my x value is 9. And if I go up on my y-axis, sorry, my line's not very straight. My box is located on the 9 as well. So that means that my value for y will also be 9. I'm going to erase those lines again. Okay, the next value is our hexagon. Now remember, a hexagon is a 6-sided figure. Okay, so my hexagon is going to be right here in this spot. Okay, and where my x value meets the hexagon is going to be 4. Right there, 4. And where my y-axis meets is positive 3. So the coordinates for the hexagon is 4 and 3. All right, next I'm going to look for my pentagon. A pentagon is a 5-sided figure. So this is my pentagon right here. I'm going across from the origin to 3. So that's where my pentagon is located. So that means my x value is going to be 3. And I'm going to go up on my y-axis to 4 because that is where my pentagon is located. So that means that my value for my y-axis is going to be 4. So the coordinate pair for my pentagon is 3, 4. All right. Next, I'm looking for a trapezoid. A trapezoid is a 4-sided figure with one side, with 2 parallel sides. One side is usually shorter than the other. We call those bases. So again, my trapezoid is going to be located way over here. So I'm going to go across from the origin on my x-axis to 10. That's where my trapezoid is located. So my x coordinate is going to be 10. And then if I go up on my y-axis to 4, that's where my trapezoid is located. So that means that my y value needs to be 4. Okay, and last but not least, I'm going to look for a rhombus. It is the last shape that we need to locate, and it is a 4-sided figure, kind of looks like a diamond. So this is where my rhombus is. Now, I'm going to start at my origin, but note that I don't need to go across to any numbers because my rhombus is still on 0. So that means that my value for my x ordered pair, my x coordinate, is going to stay 0 because I didn't move along the x-axis anywhere. But on the y-axis, it's at 5. So that means my value for my y coordinate needs to be 5. All right. Now we're going to go ahead and answer some of these questions. It says for number 1, describe the difference between the ordered pairs for the hexagon and the pentagon. Okay, so we're looking at these 2 ordered pairs here, and we're trying to find the difference between these 2. Okay, they are very similar. However, my x-axis or my x coordinate and my y coordinate are swapped for both of them. So they're reversed. They have different values. So I'm just going to write that the hexagon and the pentagon have the x and y coordinate reversed or swapped around, okay? And that would make their locations completely different on my coordinate plane. Okay, they're in totally different locations. Obviously, they're not right on top of each other if you look at the grid. So the values of my x and y being different for those 2 shapes matters quite a bit. Okay, and then for the second question, it says Yvette is asked to plot the point 7, 0 and places it on the y-axis. Did Yvette plot the point correctly? Justify your thinking. So I want you guys to go ahead and plot the point 7, 0. Remember, this is your x value and this is your y value. And I want you to tell me if Yvette plotted the point correctly. She's saying that it was placed on the y-axis. Okay, so justify your thinking and tell me if her point would, in fact, be on the y-axis or if she's incorrect.